Sulig Best Day, dear teachers and educators of this division. How are you today? Congratulations and praise God we are still alive and we still breathe the breath of life on our lungs from our Almighty Father. Praise God for that. Welcome to your yearly academic or semestral break. According to Ben Carson, happiness doesn't result from what we get, but what we give. That is why we are all here today, because we want to give our best from each other as we collaborate together, as we learn together, and most especially, we want to give our best attention to our learners as we all together craft and produce performance tasks for our dear learners. So are you ready to learn more? If your answer is yes, then we are all on the right track. Let us learn. As we all know, Project REAL and CPAG are division-initiated performance tasks, which are thematic and integrative in nature. These performance tasks are geared towards developing the critical thinking skills and creativity of our learners. But mind you, my dear educators, please do not be afraid to contextualize, to innovate, and be creative in the development of your outputs. You are not prohibited to collaborate with your fellow teachers and administrators in your respective schools for you to create outputs which are really relevant and tailor-fit to the kind of learners, to the type of learners that you have in your respective schools. I mean, you are not prohibited to contextualize based on the setup of your learners and of the community that your school belongs. Therefore, today, I will not be discussing anymore to you the theories behind why we need to develop integrative and thematic performance tasks. My main goal for you today is to give you the basics and the nitty-gritty on what are the things, what are the essentials that you need to put into your performance task, whether it would be in Project SIPAG or Project REAL template. However, these examples, or the example which I will be showing to you today, is not the end of it all. I mean, this is not strictly generic, but this is just suggestive. When we say suggestive, you can create your own as long as you do not deviate on our LRMDS standards, and of course, the standards on the most essential learning competencies. That we need a triangulation on the alignment of our MELCs, of course, the content, and the time frame that the performance task will be accomplished by our learners, and of course, the things that we need to consider so that our learners will not be burdened with the task that we are giving to them. So, welcome to our Project REAL discussion this day. This is Rhoda, your discussant for this session. So, I have here an example for you on Project REAL Grade 6. This output is crafted and developed by Master Teacher 1 of Sanyata Elementary School, Ma'am Cyril May Guzon Geraldo. However, what I will be showing to you this day is a little bit edited and enhanced by yours truly because first of all, during the first round of Ma'am Cyril's crafting, the output was a little bit longer and complicated. So I simplified it so that we will not be adding up to the burden, to the many tasks, to the many modules that our learners will be answering in their respective homes. Because truly, sometimes our learners, or maybe they are already experiencing the fact that they are burned out because of the many tasks that we are giving to them. So I simplified it, and this is it. I will not be comparing anymore the previous output and the latest one, but I will be giving you right away the edited one so that you will learn to understand the essentials of this output. Again, my word of precaution to you is you are not prohibited to contextualize and innovate and be creative based on the setting of your learners or the kind of learners that you have in your school. So the previous page I have shown a while ago is the cover page. It is in full color based on the layout conceptualized by our LR manager, Sir J. Ayap. If you wish not to print the full color cover page, it is up to you. So this is the second part. This is just white page and simple, and it does not require a lot of ink from your printer. And then the third page is the development page. So you can see here who made or who developed the output and of course the LR standards on this page as to what subject, competency from the MELC, and then the learning areas covered in this PT, and then of course the title and the edition, the year first published. This is really a mandatory page that we have to include because this is really suggested by our LR team. Of course, not only in Business Division, but the entire region and the entire country. This is an important page. So the first three pages are called preliminary pages. So it's up to you to choose if you are just going to print the first two pages or the whole thing. It's all right. And this one is the page 1. So in the pagination here, when we say pagination, the paging. So this is page 1, page number 1. So we can see the introduction, and then we also have here some words to our learners, and then for our dear parents and learning facilitators at home, and our target knowledge and skills. No, meaning these are the competencies covered in this PT. So the icons for Project to Real are all created and conceptualized by our LR manager, EPS JS Ayap. So these are our icons. All in blue because English, the medium of teaching and learning delivery for real is the English language. So we have blue color as our dominant color for the icons because of the standard color for English is blue, like what you can see in our learners material in our textbooks in English. So I also edited these parts here to make it shorter. So inedit ko na po siya. And then these are the competencies. We have English, math, then TLE, EPP, and science. And then the second page, we have the materials needed, timeline, situation, goal, role or audience, and the product or performance that you want the learners to come up. So in page 2, I also shortened some parts here from the previous, of course, from the previous output of Ma'am Cyril. So I indicated in the materials, of course, here we have short bond paper, scissors, glue, ruler. So we wrote here, we indicated here, optional po ang laptop computer if it's available only. And then the materials for 2OB listed on page 4. So needless for us to list the materials for 2OB because it will be mentioned or it will be indicated on page 4. In real, we use the GRASP strategy. So we have the goal, then we have the situation, and then we have the role or the audience, and then we have the products and performance, and then the standard yung rubric. That's why grasps. So we show first the situation because we want our learners to have the view or the understanding, the overall understanding on what is the situation they are into. Like in grasps kasi, we are giving role to our learners on just like it's a make-believe or just like we are giving them the responsibility, not a make-believe, correction po. It's giving them the responsibility that in the future they might as well do this, or in the future they can be like this, or they can make this, they can be whatever they want in life as long as they take full responsibility of their action, as long as their role and the responsibility will impact their family, their community, and of course their own self. So that's why we use grasps. That's really the reason behind it, because grasps will really teach our learners to become responsible and to imagine themselves to be what they want to be and who they want to be in the future. So we are giving them really that full responsibility and the creativity to create things which will really impact their community. So the situation here is, I will read. You have read claims on users sharing content online that boiling water or steam, or in the vernacular we call that tuob, is a helpful technique that will kill the coronavirus in the nasal passage and throat. As a herbalist, so there is a correction here, it's not an but a. As a herbalist, you would like to conduct a study to investigate the effectiveness, truth, or ineffectiveness, falsity, whether tuob or steam inhalation kills coronavirus. So that is the situation that we're giving to our learner here, or to our audience. Like the first audience talaga ng learner natin or ng ating herbalist is the family, all the members of the family. So that's the situation. So if you are a herbalist, you cannot really convince the people around you, your audience, your clients, you cannot convince if you yourself have not proven and tested and see it for yourself, observe it for yourself, and do it for yourself, what it takes to become a herbalist and how to do it. So meaning to say, in this situation, the learner will be made to really experiment and to really perform the tuob part before he or she can develop the expected output, which is a brochure. So in the previous output of Ma'am Cyril, meron in every subject, meron siyang pinapagawa, may mga questions na dapat sagutan ng mga bata. But when I look into it, I dig into it, it's really a burden on the part of the learners to be answering all of those per learning area. Like in English, merong mga questions. For mathematics, there's a problem to be solved. And then for EPP, gagawa siya ng brochure. And then for science, my short experiment and questions to be answered. So I deleted some part and then simplified it that the learner will be making only one output na lang ang ipapasa kay teacher. So, okay ba yon? Simplified na siya. So, yun ang situation natin. So, ano ang goal? Ano ang goal na dapat gawin ng bata? Ano ang goal na responsable siya sa goal na ito? Your goal is to investigate. So, sino yung your? Ang bata, ang learner na magpi-perform. Ang ating herbalist. Your goal is to investigate the truth or falsity that steam inhalation or yung tuob kills coronavirus. Kasi yun ang common in our time. And even before the pandemic hit us, meron na talagang tuob ang ating mga lolo at lola. No? So, hindi na ito bago. However, it took really a heat wave in our communities ang tuob or steam inhalation because of the pandemic. So, the challenge for you is to spread awareness on the importance of knowing fact from non-fact about herbal medicines to get a true picture of benefits and risks of using these products. So, parang product na rin ang tuob kasi herbalist nga siya. So, gagawin niya talaga yung experiment, magbo-boil talaga siya with all the materials na dapat gamitin sa tuob. No, ipe-perform talaga ng bata. However, ang isa-submit lang niya kay teacher yung brochure. And the child or the learner cannot comply, cannot develop, cannot craft the brochure if he or she will not perform the actual tuob experiment. Okay? So, yon. So, ano ang role? No? Ano ang role ng bata? You are a herbalist. A person who practices healing using herbs. You want to further investigate and look for proof on the effectiveness or depende, what's the result of his or her experiment at home. So, effective ba ang tuob or ineffective? So, yun ang pagtutunayan ng ating herbalist. On the effectiveness or ineffectiveness of steam inhalation tuob to treat coronavirus. The target individual or individuals who will receive the information na yung content ng brochure niya from your investigation are your parents, siblings, mga kapatid niya, family members, neighbors, classmates, and community. O, mga kapitbahay nila, mga tao sa komunidad, whom you can convince that through research and investigation, proper investigation is needed, especially when it is for the body. So, ito po yung role ng bata. You see, by using grasps, we are teaching the learner, our learners, to think critically, creatively, to evaluate situations, and to really investigate, to research. And we are teaching them to become responsible of the actions they are making, to become responsible citizens. At ang grasp talaga, what I really appreciate and I admire most when we use the grasp strategy is that we really are teaching our learners to be responsible. We are teaching them that in every action that they are making, there's always a corresponding reaction, not only for themselves, but to the people around them, how they will impact the community. And then they will really create, because performance task is really creating something, not only creating na char-char lang ang atong PT for them, but creating something which they themselves will learn and will understand this kind of phenomenon occurring in our society, and for them also to let others understand why we need this or why we need not to do this. Okay, so let us move on sa product. Ano ang pinaka-output ng bata? You need to create. Kaya nga PT. Dapat talaga yung domain talaga for creativity, for creation, yung sa ating Bloom's taxonomy, no? So of assessment natin. So creation, evaluation, dapat yun ang makikita in our performance tasks. You need to create and present the content of a brochure that lays out important information about steam inhalation or tuob, whether it should be used or not to treat coronavirus. Under a very close adult assistance and supervision, you also need to try tuob at home with your family to truly investigate its effectiveness or ineffectiveness. So, mag-try talaga siya para makagawa naman siya ng brochure niya. That is really what, yung output talaga niya, yung performance talaga na ginawa niya, yung brochure niya is really coming from an actual performance of the activity of doing tuob. So it's really realistic. Kaya nga, realistic and engaging. Diba? Realistic and engaging assessments for life. Kasi it's really applicable in the real life situation. Kaya grasps ang ginamit ng real. Okay. So, process steps. Ano ang gagawin dito? Ituturo na page 3 na po tayo. So, ilang pages lang ba ito? Excluding the first 3 preliminary pages, 6 pages lang po talaga ang PT na ito. No? At pwede pa nyo itong paiksiin, no? Depende sa type of learners that you have. But here, you really need to indicate the process steps kasi dito babasahin ng bata. Ito yung pinaka information na input mo sa kanya, no, as a teacher. Read the situation below to help you gather evidences to support the fact or falsity of using steam inhalation in treating coronavirus. So these pictures, because these pictures are not from teacher Cyril's collection, no, from herself, but kinuha niya from a source. So you need to indicate, no, yung source. From Maricel, si Huda. No? So, dapat lahat ng pictures, lahat ng ginamit mo na mga link and all resources, ilagay mo talaga ang source. And then, kahit sa'yo pa, kahit ikaw pa ang may-ari, kahit asawa mo or anak mo dyan, ang model mo, ilagay mo talaga ang source. So, source mo, pangalan mo rin kung ikaw ang may-ari. Or source mo, kapitbahay nyo, parent mo, or husband mo, or wife mo. Ilagay dapat talaga. So, steam therapy kills coronavirus. Hindi na ni Ma'am Cyril nilagay. So, dapat pala nilagyan ito dito ng by kung sino ang author ng article na ito. Okay, so I forgot also to indicate. So, dapat, because this article is written by Ma'am Cyril herself, so dapat nilagay dito by Cyril Meiji Heraldo. Okay, so steam therapy kills coronavirus. So I will read the very short article. You have read claims on users sharing content online that boiling water or steam or tuob is a helpful technique that will kill the coronavirus in the nasal passage and throat. As a herbalist, please edit this part here. You take a holistic approach to treating patients, looking at the underlying causes of the diseases, and will only prescribe medicines that have undergone a study and is found safe for your body. Ayun, na-cut, no? Saka i-edit ko na cut ang for your body. May body po dyan and then period. Never mind, I will send you the correct one, no, yung ma-edit na lahat-lahat ang content at with the PDF file. To investigate its effectiveness or ineffectiveness, you conducted a research about it. Okay, so dapat pala you conduct a research about it. So you conduct. So you need the following. This is the materials, or these are the materials needed for the 2-ob. 1/8 cup lemon, 1/5 cup grated ginger, 1 teaspoon salt, 4 1/2 cups water, and 1/8 cup essential oil. Okay, you might be thinking, what about if lemon is not available and essential oil is not available? So you can edit this part here. You might as well indicate here 1/8 cup lemon or calamansi juice or whichever is available at home. Or pwede mo rin dito lagyan 1/5 cup grated ginger. Pwede mong lagyan dyan ng open and close parenthesis, luya. Luya, no? Or ibisaya ni mo, loy-a. Kasi that's the most understandable. Kasi nga, yung PT natin, it should be communicative in nature na maintindihan not only by the students, but also by the parents because they are the facilitators of learning at home. 1 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 cup water, and then yung essential oil. So what about this essential oil if not available? Pwede natin lagyan dito or whatever, or pwede rin lagyan ng, pwede kaya Vicks kasi bawal ang brand ng mga products eh. So 1/8 cup essential oil, or hindi naman pwede baby oil kasi dapat pwede na lang lagyan dito. Lagyan na lang natin dito 1/8 cup essential oil or 5 leaves of menthol or 5 leaves of menthol plant. Pwedeng lagyan kasi yung iba naman may tanim na menthol. Or kung wala din talaga, if you think na in Pamaypayan, elementary school, ang mga bata walang menthol, walang eucalyptus oil. So pwede nilang lagyan ng 5 leaves of like kalabo plant. Pwede yon. Okay. Kasi it's good for treating cough. And then it has an aroma also, just like an essential oil. So whichever you think are from these materials are not available, so lagyan mo lang ng or. No? Which do you think these materials na pwedeng available sa community nila? So ano ang gagawin? Directions. Combine all these materials in a pot and bring to boil. Use the mixture at home under very close adult supervision and try to obey your family. Practice safety precautions when preparing tube mixture. Kasi nga, they're going to boil, so dapat with adult supervision talaga. It should be clearly described here na dapat may adult supervision. So, yung graded product nila, sinabi mo na nga kanina brochure, diba? So, just for a very explicit direction here, make a trifold brochure using bond papers and art materials promoting the importance of planting and propagating trees and fruit-bearing trees and marketing seedlings so that you can use them in your daily living like making herbal medicines kasi herbalist siya. Ito yung competency dito na pumasok si EPPTLE. Yung mixture nito, mga mixture dito si mathematics. And then the fact na mag-experiment siya, magbo-boil siya, and then itatry niya yung 2-ob, that's for science. And then yung brochure per se, of course sa EPP, and then yung sa English na kasi may conclusion siyang isusulat, and then yung brochure mismo mayroon siyang mga isusulat doon for the content. So, doon papasok ang English. And then, by identifying fact and the falsity, the truthfulness of tuob, so that's also another competency for English. Yung kanina, no? Yung fact and opinion. Okay, so yun na nga. And then letter B, you may refer to the sample brochure provided below. Refer to the rubric for your scoring. So yung sa grasps, yung last S, yun po yung standard, which means the rubric. So, for us to scaffold learning, kasi sa bahay nga, you are not having your physical or face-to-face teaching and learning process. So, scaffold talaga natin. May sample po tayong brochure na ginawa, and then we indicated here, and so there is really a sample for the learner to look into para hindi na mahirapan ang bata. But of course, we did not write in there the content lahat kasi wala na silang gagawin. Okay, here's the rubric. Isa lang po dapat ang rubric natin in our PT. This covers all the learning areas being integrated in this PT. So, accuracy of concepts. Ito po yung category natin or indicators. Accuracy of concepts, product, solution report, visual artistry, kasi nga brochure should be appealing to the eyes, it should be convincing, no? Dapat may aesthetic value. And then total, so the eyes is 4, then 3, 2, and 1. Okay, malapit na po tayong matapos. So helpline, kung saan sila pwede mag-contact. And maybe in the helpline, you can also write in here your contact number. Sa baba po. Kasi you are the direct contact of the learner, you being the class advisor or the subject teachers. So, pwede ninyong ilagay ang contacts nyo dyan. I think you can also, siguro hindi yung personal na cellphone number mo, but name lang ninyo, and then ano yung learning area na hinahandle mo, which covers also this module or this PT, and then the address of the school. Do not indicate your cellphone number kaya basig panguyaban mo no sa mga kuya ug ate ana nga mga bata. Joke lang. Love, love, love. Okay, so for scaffolding, as I have said earlier, ito po yung sample. This is what the expected brochure looks like. So, sample expected learner's output. Name, score, of course, the module. Pwede niya kasi, kaya may template na ganito kasi pwede niyang i-draw pag wala siyang computer. So, doon pala sa ating previous na direction, pwede nating lagyan. Kindly improve that, no? Pwede lagyan. You can print your module through a laptop computer or you can just draw your module like this on a bond paper, of course. And then, ito na po, yung cell, trifold siya. And references and who prepared this material. So, yun lang po ang dapat content ng ating performance task. I just want to be very clear, no, that please, dear teachers, dear administrators, I know that you are very creative and innovative. Please do not be afraid to create your own. This is just suggestive and an example. Of course, baka naman lahat ng output nyo, beke naman, no? Pahimunan ninyo brochure tanan ang mga bata sa inyong PT. No? This is just a sample. Ang daming pwedeng gawin ng bata. Yung sa another reel, no, na I have witnessed sa anak ko na grade 7, pinagawa sila, ang output lang nila ay gagawa lang sila ng a very simple flyer, parang ad lang siya, promo ad. Isang sheet lang ng bond paper, yun lang ang output ng bata. Gagawa kasi siya ng sarili niyang coffee, no, mixture. So, nagtimpla gid ang akong anak og coffee sa balay, like they are going to use organic materials. So, nagdukdok siya og malunggay leaves, and then hinalo niya dun sa milk, sa water, no, hinalo niya. And then the things that he did, actual talaga na experiment, yun ang sinulat niya dun sa kanyang promo ad. Pwedeng ganun din. So, in that case, ang bata ay isa siyang barista. Ang role niya, isa siyang advertiser. So, yun yung mga roles. So, pwede mong gawin ang bata, pwede siya maging announcer, pwede siya maging journalist, pwede siya maging isang engineer or doctor. So, any role that our learners could play, just like what you want them to be in the future. What as a teacher, what you want them to imagine also for themselves. Parang by using grasps, aside from being responsible, being a critical thinker, and being a realistic kind of learner, we are also teaching them to be futuristic, to imagine themselves to become like this in the future. So these are the things that they could choose from as an occupation, as part of their dream, as a visionary kind of person. Okay, so if you have questions, you can message me, direct message me, or you can also ask your facilitators there in your training, in your district, in your school. I think, and I really believe that your school heads, some of your school heads, and most of the teachers have already attended our first round of training for Project Real. That was a webinar type with Ma'am Rodora, Dr. Patalinghog, and of course, with our resource person, Ms. Anna Marlene Litonwa from the central office, SEPs from the central office. And then our second round for real is that we have the online validation. And the third round, which was an enhancement training face-to-face with CPAG and real, which was coordinated by Dr. Irene Ah. So, thank you so much for your time, for listening, for being so attentive. I hope that you have learned something with my sharing this day for real. And please do not be afraid. You are not prohibited to create, to innovate, and to tailor fit your performance task based on the levels of your learners in school. Remember, there's no one size that fits all. Our learners are grouped heterogeneously, not homo, no, and we can create really for the benefit of our learners. Think of our learners when you create, when you develop your performance task. Think of them. This is for them. Lastly, the greatest gift na naman, okay? Kasi nga, our life is a gift to our learners. And our learners are a gift for us to treasure, to nourish, to nurture, to cherish, and to really teach well. So, kindly read with me. Let's read all together. The greatest gift you can give someone is your TIME time. Because when you give your time, you are giving a portion of your life that you will never, 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 ever get back. Okay, let's read once more from our hearts. The greatest gift you can give someone is your time. Because when you give your time, you are giving a portion of your life that you will never get back. I think this one is self-explanatory. That would be all for today. Have a nice time. Collaborate, work together for excellence. Good day, Bislig City Division educators.